Hello guys, here is Level Up session 37 with Eduardo Pena, and we are here with Wojtek, Jonas De Ro, and me, Darek Zabrocki. We are here with art director and co-founder of Chino-Rino Visual Lab studio, and you probably know his works, his amazing concept arts. So let me just share my screen and I will show you some of them. So you can just basically follow the Eduardo on his ArtStation profile. So it's called Chino-Rino Visual Lab. Also on Facebook, on his fan page. And you can see a lot of amazing concepts that he is doing. A lot of environment design, a lot of, beautiful mechs, a lot of, wood paintings. All together, it's create a huge, inspiration. So yeah, just follow this guy, and we are glad to hear you, man, on board with us today. So maybe let's introduce yourself in few words, and I will just make some showcase to people your works.
Thank you so much, guys, for inviting me for the Level Up initiative. I'm very glad that I'm here to share part of my little knowledge with people as well with you, and I'm very supportive with these initiatives. Just like let's keep moving. I'm glad that we're talking with just artists. It's very good environment.
Yeah, awesome. We are very happy to have you here today. It's really awesome. So I hope from you we are going to see a demo from you, but it will be something beyond that, really. We will talk about a mindset and maybe something beyond technical skills, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like as I talked to you before, it's like mostly we're just to these demos every time, like looking at stuff, how everyone work, and beautiful renderings, beautiful tool skill set. That's very important. That's something that, of course, we must know. But before that and beyond that, we must understand what is the purpose of what we're doing. As designers and as an artist or as visual communicators, whatever, as professionals. So there are different ways that, of course, I try to assume this through my experiences and through my process, because I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly getting information from different sources, and as well from different cultures. I'm very open and holistic-minded for understanding how this field helps me and allows me to to upgrade my knowledge in a different level, not only just as a designer, more in a humanistic point of view. So before all Chino-Rino company, all that stuff, I was living in my country. I'm originally from Colombia in South America. I studied graphic design because, of course, this industry is not well developed in South America. I studied this stuff like entertainment art or animation is very expensive and it's very difficult to access in my country. So the closest thing that I found similar to that was graphic design. And I said, okay, let's take a chance. Because, of course, on that time, I just like to draw stuff. But during the period that I was like learning all these foundations and all this terminology and the base of graphic design, I realized that design itself is like a big entity that contains the overall. So once you start learning the language, you can understand what it is about. So I use the metaphor of, for example, from my point of view, like it's like Latin, and from Latin you have like English, Portuguese, Italian, French, Spanish, blah, blah, blah. So design is like Latin, is the source, the main source. And after that, it's like have variations and different ways of creating different structures, but the same source is still the same. So when I was studying graphic design, I said, okay, I want to turn all this knowledge and try to focus all of this into concept art to see how it goes. So everything that I start analyzing or applying those things into concept art, I said like, okay, it's the metaphor of composition in graphic design is the same thing. It's like utilizing the elements and organizing those elements into a space to create rhythm, to create balance, to create proportions, noise, etc., etc. So I'm just using like the main structure and say, okay, these things totally fit into one big entity. Of course, that time during the maturity, understanding all the stuff, of course, it takes time. It's not like just I understood this directly, like, oh, I got it. No, it's like experimenting and learning and getting all these foundations, understanding like art history, design history, cinematography, semiotics, all that stuff makes me think about like, okay, these things is always related, and with that you can start building your own structure. So after I finish college as a graphic designer, I start teaching because of, I guess like most of us designers and artists, we have like a natural need of sharing knowledge all the time. Sharing knowledge in experiences, skills, tools, whatever. So I saw like teaching at college, graphic design, and or sort of workshops or courses that is more about experience design, which is a mixing between industrial design and graphic design and fine arts architecture, all in one, like a soup. After that, I started like working like independent artists, like helping local producers, filmmakers to upgrade their products, you know, like film, video games, all the stuff. So the year just passed. I just got more experience, more knowledge, and I really wanted to get to the next level. So I applied to Weta Digital like 4 years ago, and during that period, the person that was in charge of hiring was the art director of Weta Digital. That was Michael Pangracio. He was like old school matte painter. So I literally shit in my pants, like, oh my god, this guy's gonna do the interview and test. So I told him like I didn't have enough experience on this field, but I'm able to solve the problem in any ways. So I find the way to solve the problem. So he gave me the chance. Okay, let's try it. Of course, I was lucky on that time, and things just came on the right direction. So I got the job, I passed the test, all the stuff, and I spent some months working under Mike Pangracio, mentoring, learning from him. He's still like a matte painter, old school matte painter. So I learned as much as I can from him about like what is like his approach in the visual development for film. More in the technical level, I was like a little bit aware. I was more about like how he approached the problems from an intellectual point of view, because the technique I can get it just with training, but the mindset, it requires time. It requires like certain way of discipline. So after that, I jumped to Weta workshop, and I was like amazing time. I met Richard Taylor. He's like a crazy guy, very talented, very knowledgeable in all this industry, and a lot of amazing, talented concept artists as well. So on that time, was more classy with glasses. On that time, I was like, it only worked Hobbit, working on or movies like Great Wall, Hercules, Transcendence, and all unannounced projects like are just coming all the time. And I was like getting more experience, learning more, getting more skill set, new tools, learning with different people, you know, like different people from different backgrounds. You have fine artists, you have industrial designers, you have people from Art Center. I met Ben Barrow there. They have different mindsets and different ways of solving the problem. So that was like something that I can say like it's a rich environment to learn, not just again not the skills, not the way how you execute the work. Is the way how the mindset or the training allows them to solve that potential problem. So there I was working movies, video games, all that stuff. Then we're just like doing freelance stuff with Ben. We work on Lucy, and the thing is that working there, you start realizing your works, what is function, what is the purpose of your work exactly. Because I guess most of people involved in this or trying to get into this, even new generation, they think it's just like about like doing cool stuff or cool paintings, but it's more about like how you can solve a problem, And I learned that when I was studying graphic design, because all these design aspects has an historic background, a social background, a political background. It's not like, okay, let's do cool stuff and that's it. Like, everything has a communicational purpose, and is to, for example, to communicate certain idea, to upgrade, or to promote certain certain thoughts or certain mindset into the society. So I learned that, okay, this needs to be functional regardless of if it's pretty or not. So that's the basic thing, the functionality and aesthetics. It's always like people try to fight them together, all the stuff. But it's just like, it's an integration. It needs to be functional as well, needs to be pleasant for the eye or pleasant for the experience. You have to have a certain emotional response. Anyway, so I finished at Weta workshop, and then I jumped to Singapore. We were hired by Ben, Mauro, Longwujan, 3 colleagues of mine at Weta. We went to FCD, it's the Feng Shui School of Design. I spent there for 1 year, again, because I have a lot of passion for concept art, but as well for teaching. So I have I learned a lot from that environment as well. I try to always get different knowledge, experiences from different environments. I just spent almost a year and said like, okay, it's time to move. It's time to move on and start doing different things. So I got my previous experience. I got my scars in the industry, like all the pain and the tears and all the stuff. And then I said, oh, okay, I want to build something. I want to build something that allows me to, one, keep working on this because I love this, you know. Second, keep me alive in the educational aspect, in the educational environment, because I love to teach. And third, I want to create my own stuff as well. So I created a company called Chino-Rino. Chino-Rino is the nickname that my grandfather gave me when I was a little kid, because in my country, Chino means little kid, but as well means Chinese. So, but every time you see a little kid, hey, Chino, come here, Chino, 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 all the stuff. So I was like born, I was like this big, and my grandfather put me Chino-Rino. So I built a company just to maintain that memory of when I was little kid, always dreaming, always doing cool stuff. So I put like just to honor his legacy, you know, like Chino-Rino. So I created this company. I built the 3 main pillars: outsourcing, academy, and IP development. So now it's like it's a young company. It's growing. It's a natural entity. I'm not rushing to grow super fast. Nothing like that. I just like wanna be like an entity just to provide certain values and certain way of you know, like a different way of understanding this industry. And nowadays, what I'm doing is like doing workshops around Southeast Asia and Asia, promoting of course the brand, but just breaking a little bit the mindset of like, you want to do it now, you want to do it fast, I want to do pretty stuff. It's not about that. Like, I teach students just to value their school, to value the principles of this, because at the end of the day, this is going to build your future. It's not just like get something done now. It's more about building the maturity into this career. So then I create an IP called Easter Brush Workshop. I'm gonna write it here. Easter Brush Workshops. That's the name of the workshops that I do here. The thing is that I'm from the Middle East, means Asia. So it's like, because I have like a personal attachment with Asia, so that's why I'm here. So I created like a brand just to build a bridge between West and East, and to start like having this exchange of this cultural exchange. You know, like I as an artist, as a designer, I guess these things make us bigger in different ways, make us like better artists, better persons, and better humans. So all of that is about values. Like I'm not concerned about like doing the best tutorials or doing this thing on super wow. It's more about the values, more about the human touch, more about the principles, the respect, the trust, you know, and the fun, of course. This is a fun business. It's tough, but it's still something human in there. So this is like a short synopsis. Sometimes I just miss the stuff. Sorry, I talk too much.
Yeah,
uh,
it's great, man.
No, no, no.
It's like we have the
Perfectly
right
okay.
person in today, that
Yeah.
to show the
Exactly.
knowledge, to share the knowledge, and talk about the learning stuff. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Exactly.
Thanks,
In the
thanks.
meantime, guys, just feel free to ask questions if you have any. Just type them
Yeah.
in into the chat, and we will pick them up later on. So feel free to do it. So yeah, Eduardo, go on.
Yeah, sure. Of course, I'm gonna do a demo or something. I do a demo, do something, because I know like people was do a demo, do some paintings. Yeah, of course. But before that, there's something behind. There's a talk. There's somebody talking. There's somebody sharing stuff. I guess nowadays I didn't have this access to to this to, for example, to this. I have to make my own way. I have to build
Yeah.
my own way, learn my own tools. And now this new generation, they have all of these. They have the level lab. You have like all this another one called
Yeah.
brainstorm.
Exactly.
You have forums there, forums here. It's a lot of information. I feel really excited. I feel really happy. But at the same time, I feel like okay, there's a lot of stuff there, but it needs to, in some way, to have certain structure, because you can just go to the mountain by it. You have to learn how to walk, learn how to run, learn how to climb. If you don't know how to walk, it's impossible for you to go to the
Yeah.
mountain. So it's good to know these fundamentals. And it's not about, again, perspective or values. Fundamental is about art history, design history, what a design is functional, what a design is not functional, learning about the shape language, all these little parameters that you must know as a designer, which is like the A, B, C, D. So before that, you can do whatever you want. So it's good to sometimes filter all of that information and try to organize in a proper way in order for people to digest that information and have a proper use in the future, because at the end of the day, they're going to damage themselves, or probably they're not going to get what they want, and they think that it's going to do well or not. But anyway, it's just a way of how I perceive things, because I was a student, I was a teacher, I was an amateur and a professional. So I'm passing all the stages, so I know what is the weak spot, and I know how, in some way, how can I fill those empty spots in order to, again, create a solid structure, create solid foundations. And at the end of the day, that's the people that is gonna hold my company, and like just keep moving, keep the ball moving, rolling in some way, because at the end of the day, we're gonna die or something. So people needs to maintain this solid entity that we respect all a lot.
Yeah. Beautifully said. It's like you already mentioned that back in the day there was no, that amount of the resources, and mostly for
Yeah,
free. For free. It was like,
yeah,
you have you had to buy like a Gnomon workshop from time to time. It was nothing else. But now it's like expanding, and there's a lot of things. It's all in there. You just need to research, right? And
yeah,
start, practicing. So
yeah. So yeah, so you guys guide me. What is the next step? You want me to do a demo, or just show stuff, or answer questions, or just let me know. I'm just free to go with the flow that you guys establish.
Yeah, maybe let's start with looking at all your concept art from The Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies.
No, I'm not able to show that. There's a lot of NDAs and politics and all that stuff. And unfortunately, of course, you guys work on this. I do know that sometimes you're able to share some stuff, or stuff you cannot share.
yeah,
And at the end of the day, it's like it's just art. It's nothing more than that. But in the other side of the world, some industries they work under that mindset. But of course, I can do a briefly share a session here. I can go through my art station. You guys want me to share my screen or something?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, let me just try to get some familiarity. Screen. Okay, share. So I assume that you guys are looking at my screen right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh,
Sure.
perfect. So I'm gonna just go through the art station, which is like the generic way of showing this stuff. Of course, after the CG Hub and all the stuff, I just a place to put stuff. So what I'm doing here is like I put it under company name, but of course it's all my work because I guess in the future, when all the projects that we're working on, we can just share with people and show it to people. But now it's just the work that I've been doing. So I have like a variety of styles here. You can see that from cartoony or realistic or VFX stuff, or more into the cinematic, more into the graphic design, black and white, blah blah, all the stuff, just to have a variety where I'm able to show. During the years, again, I'm trying just to develop my own line work. I don't like to copy other one artwork. I guess like, of course, when you're starting, you need to get some references. You need to have some heroes. And when I was studying, Dave McKean, Richard Corbett, Fran Frazetta, Chris Achilleos, all these guys, Moebius, they were my heroes. And every time I was growing, I was learning more stuff. So I was like trying just to get a part of them. If I put them under the hero stage, I try to start developing my own work.
Mm-hmm.
It's like language. For example, I consider this as language. For example, English speaking is not my native language. My native language is Spanish, and if I try to speak English in a proper way of speaking English, I'm not trying to talk. I'm trying to talk like not me. So I'm trying to talk with my own accent, my own mistakes, just to value the way how I talk. It's the same thing here. So I try to talk through my way. I try to perceive lighting through my way, perceive composition through my way. And of course, the artistic side is important. When it comes the functional way, you have to just adapt those skill set and make it work. So yeah, I have a variety of stuff here. This is one of the demos that I did with Feng Su a year ago. It was pretty fun. Some stuff that I did from The Hobbit. It's like very little thing that I can share here. It's more about the moody stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like nothing super productionable or super high end. On that stage, I was asked just to do like moody pieces because I just got the script. Mostly we just get the script and nothing else. So it's just like you have this, you have that, and the script, of course, is based on the book. And I read the book like 10 times or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was very obsessed, and I also like that as well. And the thing is that the experience there was amazing because I was working next to the heroes, and my heroes are like Alan Lee, John Howe. Those guys are incredibly masters and incredibly talented. They have years of working on this, and the good thing is that the tool doesn't define you as a good artist. They're still working with pencil and paper. That's it, and they are directing the whole movie. So it's impressive. You know? So the tool doesn't make a big difference. It's more, again, the mindset and the experience and the way how you use the tool. The tool is just an extension. So I saw that. I saw their drawings. I said, oh my God, these guys can. It's like looking literally at the movie in pencil, honestly. So I got those stuff as reference, and then I just like start doing moody paintings, just like color and shapes, nothing defined at this stage. I still have more stuff. Hopefully, I can share it in the future, like characters, cinematic breakdowns, props, all the stuff. But from now, of course, I can just share this. And it was very fun because when this briefs just came, you have like some freedom to start like executing whatever you want or the way how you perceive it. And of course, I try just to put the way how I perceive lighting or mood or mist into the work. But again, not trying to solve like a particular design problem at this stage. After that, I was working at the same time on different projects. So one day you're working on The Hobbit, next day you're working on a science fiction movie. Before that, you're working on a live action movie, and then detective story, and then like a video game. So multitask all the time. So you have to switch your brain into Middle Earth, and then go to Hong Kong, and then go to a crappy place, and then an island, and then underwater. So that thing is very challenging and makes you learn another thing that I guess a concept artist must have, which is second, you have the tools, but first you have to have is like, I guess, adaptability. If you have the sense of adaptability, you can perfectly work fine on this business, because again, things are constantly changing, tools are constantly changing, and technology is going into the same path. So the technology is changing, meaning that the way how you present this needs to change as well, because you have to design for a video game that is going to look like a movie, but the movie is going to be like a video game. So you have to be aware of all the technologies, the platforms, and all things happening right now. What else I have here? Oh, those are like 3 years ago. This is really old. Finally, they gave me the authorization to show this.
Eduardo,
the
can
story
you
this
extend the window so we can see it better? Because on YouTube it appears very small. So maybe.
Sorry.
Stretch it out. Yeah, that's awesome. That's perfect.
It's because I have a bigger screen here. So.
Yeah.
So the story behind this is that there was nothing, man. No script, nothing. So there was the very first stage of this entire thing. They told me just a few words, like it's a guy turning himself into a digital entity. That's it. Similar like Tron. I was like, oh, okay, okay. I don't know what to do. Should I do something similar to Tron? Because I didn't know anything. I didn't know it was like for a script called Transcendence. I didn't know it was Johnny Depp. Nothing. I didn't know anything. Just like those things, like 3 words. It's like, okay, 4 words make magic. So I was like doing these initial concepts, like very initial. Of course, I just like trying to have an interpretation what it is about. One good exercise that I like to do when I'm doing this is like not only just painting. I like to write some paragraph next to that and send it to the client as well, because I didn't know, I knew that wasn't no script on that stage. So I like to write a little script what it is about. I put like, each of these files has a name. I put it like here, Corpus Binari, like some Latin name, like binary corp or something like that. So just to write what is this story about, or just to get involved with that. It's a nice exercise that I like to do when I have this freedom, is to write, to help me what is going on. For example, this one, I like the concept behind this, which is like her wife visiting this guy, but I didn't know anything. Like she has to do something in particular to talk with this guy, or no, I don't know. I didn't know anything. I'm very like a spiritual person as well, and I would like to, for example, to introduce this spirituality into the digital world. How it's gonna be, for example, having this tantra or tantric relationship, when you have like in a meditational state, you have to upgrade your chakras and get like the 7th sense in order to connect to your husband, because your husband is into the spiritual world and in the digital way as well. So I'm just like trying to figure out a functional way into this role, how it works. So I just imagine this, but honestly, I didn't watch the movie yet, so I have to watch it. But it's just to see how like the like you as a concept artist, you need to translate. You have to create this world, and sometimes you don't have enough reference. You don't have enough information. As well, that sometimes the client gives you a lot of stuff, gives you like a brief, gives you a mood boards, references, etc., etc. But sometimes you have your own self just to solve these problems. I have as well like an IP that I'm developing here. Um I still want to create some fantasy stuff. Um, the last time I was working with fantasy when I was working on the Hobbit, so I was like, okay, I want to keep working on the fantasy world. So from now I don't have a script I can share. I'm not a writer, so I'm just figuring out how to write something consistent on this. But for now, it's just like the visuals that introduced me to these worlds, and just to have a sense of the mood itself. Some tutorials as well. Those are like promoting the brand that I was talking about the ETBW, Eastern Brush Workshop. So it's just a showcase of what do you expect when you're on these workshops. So the same thing that we were talking about, like the mindset, the process as well, and how you organize the methodology, because you have, of course, you as a designer, as an artist, most people think, okay, you're talented, but you have to build your talent, and the only way, or from my experience, I guess you need certain structures to help you to maintain and upgrade that talent. And I guess structures and principles allows you to solve a problem in a certain amount of time, because we're always working against the clock, against the watch. And I guess like I'm building these strategies just to share with people how I can use this as a Bible and as a supportive material that allow me to, solve different amount of problems. If I have to do, for example, a spaceship tomorrow, or I have to do a spaceship in like a day, so maybe I can use the structures that helps me how to solve this problem. Of course, the rendering is very important, but the structure and the fundamentals is one of the most important things. So this is like just the showcase, the video, like just the teaser. Let me just put this here. There's another one. So like sharing different techniques, because you have to be, again, adaptable to solve the problem in different ways. I put the Spanish caption. It's like a cook, for example. You know how to prepare food in different ways, but today you have to prepare Italian food, and tomorrow you have to prepare Indian food. It's not about preference. No, I don't prepare Indian food. I don't know. No, you have to learn how to prepare Indian food. But maybe you know the fundamentals. You know how to boil water. You know how to do sauce. You know how to organize all these ingredients and make this curry, for example. So the same thing. You must know certain amount of tools, and in some way those tools can help you to solve any particular problem. So like I'm not trying just to say this tool is the best or just work my way. It's like I'm just trying to show students how to work with different tools, with 3D, with photos, with black and white, with line work, with from the scratch, just to show them like adaptability is the most important thing, and then tools come second. Okay,
Yeah.
that's just
You pick the tools from the. Hello.
Yeah, but you cannot depend on them. You cannot be so dependent of the tool, Because again, nowadays we have everything. we have everything. You can do everything, whatever you want, or whatever tool you want. But again, it's not about the tool. We have a saying in my country, which is I try to translate it properly, which is it's not the arrow, it's the Indian, So I have the same sense. It's not the tool. The tool itself doesn't make anything if you don't have a performer that understands the tool. If you understand the tool, you become the tool. So you don't have to be too dependent of that. Let me just. Anyway, so this is like another way of approaching a problem from black and white, simple forms, using forms like spheres, squares, triangles, very basic. So like, because at the end of the day, you're teaching, but you learn from that exchange. What else I have? Yeah, I have like variety stuff, different things. So anyone is interested, just like come here and check, just have a look. You know,
yeah, I have just posted the link in the events to. So again, I posted the link to Eduardo's art station if you want to check it out. As you can see, there's a lot of video material on his profile as well. It's really insightful and well made. I really like it. So you can even get some insight into the process in here. That's awesome.
Sure. Okay, let me just.
And you have said a really important thing as well. You can learn so much from just teaching others. So it's sometimes even more. You can even get somewhat more knowledge from teaching that from learning, because you are just revising your own library of knowledge, and you are making it kind of simpler, maybe more kind of, you are just processing it, and you can get so much. You can even get a better understanding of what you already know by just revising it and giving it to others. It's really awesome. I had some previous experience, not directly with concept art, but teaching other things, and it's just awesome. So I guess it translates to every medium.
Yeah, because actually, most people already have a lot of knowledge. Like, you watch a lot of things and you have a lot of knowledge, but sometimes you go onto sort of an autopilot and you stop. You don't stop to think anymore. You just do stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to just like sit down and put it back into words so that you can actually think about it in a more sort of in a more theoretical way than just doing stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes Hello?
Yep.
The awkward silence. Yeah.
Photoshop being super slow or what?
Yeah, the silence that I don't know what to say. Also, I'm gonna share just the way some of the stuff that how I work, or things that I do mostly when professional work or even in my free time. So I think is that again, different tools, different markets, different approaches, of course. So I'm going to share another way of solving potential problems, or another way of doing this stuff. Previously, before doing this, I was like trying to share like the fundamentals are always the most important thing, and like like talking about like perspective, you have one vanishing point, and you can organize elements in the 3D space, That's part of the fundamentals as well with composition, and elements as well, how you organize, how you create like a language of elements. And all of these are part of the fundamentals, like organization, composition, value, depth. All these things are very important before you go into the most advanced rendering, because now I'm gonna use like a sort of advanced rendering technique, which is like using photoplays and all this stuff. But again, before going to that, it's because I already know this stuff, and it's not about like this is the cool way. It's like the way how sometimes we work, because we have very limited amount of time to solve a particular problem. And the reason why we're using photos is because there is a lot itself. Of course, there's a quantity, suggestive quality of amount of density of detail, because it's a photo, of course, and the more realistic, the better, because if that goes to the VFX supervisor or even director itself. So that's the reason why we use photos and speed up the process. But again, this is not the best tool to, for example, do an illustration. If you want to do illustration, you should spend like a week or spend like the right time to do this. So the technique is not dictating the way who you are. This is a way, different techniques, different markets, different purposes. So I'm going to use some of the photos that I got in New Zealand. Mostly on these experiments, I like to work with my own photos. That's another cool exercise when you're a concept artist, because like photography or drawing or working in 3D or sculpting, again, it's the same thing. It's an extension of yourself doing something, doing some creative content, regardless of the tool, regardless if you're using a pen with your hands or a mouse, you know. So what I noticed with photography is that you can upgrade or even increase the sensibilities to understand composition and lighting as well. For example, let me show you here. I have my Flickr here when I do my cinematography experiments and my composition stuff. And when I have two ways of taking photos. I have the first way is like taking fancy pictures, all the stuff, you know. The second one is for my own references and from my own resources. So with the first one, what I'm not trying to create is like a frame, to create rhythm, to create drama, to understand how the lighting goes in different times of the day, to understand the materials, to understand the reflections, to understand the mood, etc., etc. Even like if I'm doing cinematic breakdowns, or if I'm doing like exploring the different lighting situations, you know, it's all about that, you know. So I like to do that for my visual library and for challenge myself for finding different ways of doing compositions, because you can find a way of doing compositions when you're painting, but it's a little bit different when you're doing compositions in photography. The levels of depth are probably different, maybe the colors are different, or the elements are different, because you're trying to extract something from the reality into a fictional world, which is the photography, through your eye, of course. So that's a really good exercise that I always recommend to my students. Like use photography always as a helper that is allowing you to understand and unlocking your brain from limitations, you know, like composition and color. It's very important. And as well, the second phase of photography is for me to use those as resources as well. I like to take photos of course, of textures, of wires, like any other designer out there. Like I like to take pictures of the ground or some piece of shit in the ground. You say, oh, it's nice texture, you know. But it's all about that. You start building your own library, but as well, you're educating yourself and your eye and your brain how to create your own personal language. I really like that, like the way how you create compositions, rhythm, all the stuff. So I'm going to use part of those libraries to create like a composition. It's part of my photo. So the reason why I took those photos is because I already know how I'm going to use them. So I have a multi-purpose of those photos that I'm taking. I say, like, okay, this is nice, but I can potentially use this for another exercise that is related to concept or for cinematography, whatever. It's more about understanding the resource. And the more that you get by your own, the better. So you're not using work from other people. Okay, let me find some.
I have linked to your Flickr on the event page as well. So if you want to check it out, go to the event page and you can see the link. So you can check the photography out. It's really awesome. So I cannot stress it enough how important it is to take your own photos, as you can somehow rely on Google Images. You will not ever get as high quality as you can get from your own camera and your own shots when you can really choose your lens, your light. You can find any place you want and just take a photo of that and use it later on as a texture or as a starting point or whatever you like.
Yep.
Yeah, and over time you build it up and you have it becomes just another tool in your library, really.
Yeah, it's another skill that goes into your sorry for saying the same word, skill set, but as well it's like you have the resolution, all that stuff, but it keeps you away from the computer because we have to be outside, you know, like how do you do good environment art, how do you do like good mood design or even character design? Well, of course you have to go out and understand how environment works, like foggy day and the morning time, golden hour time, night time, you know, overcast, no light, raining. So everything, all the information is just outside. So it's like this is more like an invitation to people to just leave the computer and go out, and it doesn't matter. It could be a Nikon, a Canon, or a phone, iPhone, whatever. You know, I don't mind. It's just the fact of you having this as an exercise, as a way of life. It's not just sitting there looking the best picture. Done my concept. No? Just enjoy and respect the art and respect the craft as well. Let me just check. Yeah, I like this one. I still remember this one. For example, I have here specific photos. The reason why I'm choosing these for this exercise is because of that time they were taken here in Singapore. The reason why I took those is because they are in the overcast in some way, so I can have like the purity of the color. I don't have like very strong texture happening, and I can play with the whole shape. So I can get rid of the background and start playing on top of that. So for example, when it's overcast, it's the best way for you to go and take photos. In terms for you want to polish designs or want to understand more of the shapes, have subtraction of shape language. But again, it's just my suggestion. So that's the reason why I like to take photos on the overcast photos, and you can get like these dark values. I like to decrease sometimes the ISO or play with my camera as well. So again, it's a tool, you know. When you play with Photoshop with brushes and all the stuff, you use the camera as a tool. It's not like you have to use 50 in this, 60 on that, and the ISO in 600. No, just play around. Just increase the white levels, increase the density, everything. Like it's just another tool. Just have fun with that, and you will see how important really is like to explore different tools and not the usual ones. Okay, let me just find this. Have this as well. Oh, yes, a few. Like for example, here I take pictures of nothing to do with composition. It's just like I saw a machine there. I love the wires. I love the texture. I love the colors. Something interesting that I saw in that time. I said, "Wow, this is really nice. I can just probably potentially use it for
steampunk jetpack or something."
it's a drill, I guess. Yeah. But sometimes it's just for the picture value or just the fun. And I like to be mega dramatic. I like to increase the black, the dark, the shadows, just to hide a lot of stuff and to expose a little bit. And it's like, again, playing with my camera. I like the perspective. So in the beginning, you can start establishing this as a foundation, using your own photos as a ABC, you know, like the initial stuff. And potentially, I can start using like different textures. Those are more from the Google or other sources in the internet, just to increase the values or to put like different textures. So from this one, I'm probably gonna start working on this IP. Let me just show it. I'm calling it IP, but it's not like the big IP or something. It's just like an idea that I'm just working on and having fun with that. This is the indigo.
In the meantime, there are a lot of questions on the chat,
Sure.
Eduardo.
Yeah. Let me know, man.
So yeah, so maybe we'll try to sort some of them and ask you during your demo, right? Is it right?
Yeah. Shoot it down.
Okay. I've seen some cool one. So what do you think about this question? Is it necessary to learn everything to be successful concept artist, like anatomy, how mechs works, architecture, and all this stuff? What do you
I,
think about the point?
I guess you don't have necessarily to learn everything. Again, like when I start this, I start as a graphic designer. So my anatomy fundamentals were very low. My perspective was very basic. But what I use is more about the design substance, which is understanding composition, understanding what I'm designing, understanding the functionality, and how potentially I can solve the problem with the less tools I have. So again, it's like don't depend too much. Don't imagine that you have to know everything,
Yeah.
in order to get the perfect job. In the job, during the job, after the job, even when you're 70 years old, you're always keep learning. You're always been doing and challenging yourself. Of course, you have to have a certain knowledge if you want to be a concept artist for video games and you like characters. Of course, you need you need to know anatomy. You need to know a really good anatomy. Or you want to go to environment artist, of course you have to know how to do landscapes, and you have to certain knowledge into the composition, space, design, all the stuff. But again, don't it's not good to imagine that concept art is like the most unreachable thing ever. We're not curing cancer, It's again, we have our own discipline. We work very hard. It's just that if you work very hard, you will get the techniques, you will get the tools with the time. It's all about patience.
Yeah, the knowledge will be earned with the experience, right?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it's very cool. It's like all of us have some strongest parts, strongest subjects and all that stuff. But it's really cool to be versatile, right?
Yeah,
Versatility is
absolutely.
just establish your portfolio, your skill wise, and all that stuff. So yeah, the more you will learn, the better it's for you. But it's quite obvious that you will be probably better in like some parts like environment than character art, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I can check for another ones.
Guys, I'm just gonna do an overpainting now. So sorry if I don't talk so much. It's just that, so that we have an overpainting for this.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
So Eduardo, at this stage when you are taking a photo, you are there in the city, you're taking a photo, are you thinking about using it later on, like specifically, or you are just making it up right now? What is your thought process behind it?
When I'm taking the photo, I just like entirely just for fun, for just enjoying finding spots, composition spots, accidents, finding like possibilities. For example, when I'm looking for this one, I like the density. I like the density of detail on this spot. I like the contrast. I like the finished product versus the unfinished product. I like the high end versus the low end. So I like this empty space here. So I centrally just for photography tastes. I like to find this contrast. I like the and it looks very lonely. There's no light. So it's just entirely for the photographic purposes. It's not like, okay, I'm gonna use for a concept. I just like, okay, it has potential for today, for a level up session. But of course, I didn't plan to have this for today.
So usually in your concepts, how much 3D are you using? Right, like
Um,
it's like from time to time, or you just based on 3D, or you don't use it that much, or you know
using what? Excuse me.
using 3D.
No, no. Depends. I was involved on a video game project like 1 year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I was using some 3D as well, and experimental 3D. Most of the time, I said like I use 3D only when it's required into my skill set. But I don't use that regularly sometimes. If I have to do, for example, a complex matte painting, or I have to do like a very complex composition, which I need a lot of lighting and all that stuff, I just go with 3D. Of course, I'm not saying like, okay, I can solve this with just this. No, I need some tools to help me with the process. But I guess
Okay.
like I'm using maybe 30% in all my time. 30% of the time I'm using 3D. 70% is like a mixture of photo or working with textures or brushes. But I try always to keep it simple. I don't try to overcomplicate the stuff. If I can get the result in 2 hours with this technique, I just get it in 2 hours. Because at the end of the day, the client he doesn't care about the tool. He just say, I want to see a result. If you give me the result in 2 hours with pencil it is. If you give me 2 hours with 3D it is. So the tool is just a helper.
Okay. Uh, it's like the question about arranging the pictures. Um, how do you arrange the pics? I have 1,000 of files, and I find it hard to find them in all of the subfolders and shit. Even tried to name them, but with as many keywords as possible. How do you deal
Yeah,
with all your references?
no, of course, like you have to, same as here in Photoshop, you potentially will have like 50 layers. So you have to, in some way, put it on some level here. Like for example, the red ones, I put it as priority. If you, for example, I have folders around here. For example, this one is red. So I say I know the red one belongs to all my important freelance work or outsourcing work. The green one is for more like less important freelance. Yellow one could be more for references.
Oh,
Green one could be
awesome.
for nature or foliage. Blue one could be for skies. So I use that way in some way that helps me. But at the end of the day, I don't try to have like 10,000 photos of there, or the less is more. So I try to get the less as possible to solve more problems.
Nice. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, but
I
Windows
also
doesn't have that.
what?
Windows doesn't have the color tagging that we just.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But while
Yeah.
you painting, I use a lot of colors for layers too, like to separate the thing that I will use, or
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense. Like for example, I know people that they want to work. Oh, I don't work with layers, blah blah blah. But this is not a contest. This is not a test. Like if Photoshop is there, and if Photoshop allows you to have layers, use the layers. There's no
Yeah,
reason why you
exactly.
have. Yeah, use the layers are there. All of these things are being designed by really capable people thinking for us. So all of this for helping us. You have
Hmm.
the folders, you have sublayers, you can do masks. It's
Yeah.
really fun. But of course, don't depend too much on all of these things. What I'm having here is just like my navigator, of course, to check the composition if it's going all right. I have it my brushes, but I honestly I use just hard and soft, and that's it. I don't use like very fancy at this point, of course, because I don't want to overcomplicate myself. I just want to use sharp for sharpened edges, soft for soft edges. Done. So something simple that allows me to solve the problem first, and then I just go with the fancy touches. Just put this stroke here, the lens, whatever you want.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing here is more like in the stage I call it the Frankenstein, which is like just putting some textures flying around, reusing the same textures of the same architecture. I don't want to overload this with the same thing. I just like want to play around with the same structure. I like to find potential of these little things here. I can create new textures or new patterns. So I just like the Frankenstein polishing session.
Are you starting with values only sometimes, or you just start with merging the photos and then establish the colors later?
In this case, yes and no, because the reason why I choose this as the overcast. So there's no strong values, and of course I want to create like some lighting from here, hitting these spots to create more drama, and create like different composition and rhythm. But for now, I'm just looking the whole picture as a silhouette, as a big silhouette. Like I noticed this negative space here is going to have a certain action or certain quantity of detail, versus having here this density is going to have different action, different quality in some stage. So I'm just like finding the best way as I can, but of course it needs to have like a purpose. After all, the brief that I'm imagining here when I was taking picture, because it was very foggy, I said, oh man, it looks like Book of Eli or Mad Max setting. You know, everything is abandoned. There's nobody there. It looks very depressing. So I'm gonna keep going with that vibe. I'm gonna just keep working under that parameter, that script. Like it's like some sort of a Book of Eli, abandoned, destroyed city, something like that. To see how it goes, of course.
So you have already initial idea, probably some colors, lighting, and
yeah, of course. I have like a brief idea of what sort of color, what sort of feeling I want to imply into this image. But at the beginning, I don't want to put everything there. I don't want my eye to be distracted with too many things. I want to solve each problem at a time. I'm very patient, so I don't like to rush too much. I like to just take my time, have some fun, let things happen. I have this as well. I like this because at the end this merged with the perspective of this. So I'm probably gonna use this. It's good. Like I always like, you don't have to be in a very awesome city or awesome place to get awesome pictures. Like your eye, your initiative as a designer can find awesome pictures all the time. You can have the most boring stuff ever, but you can turn it into something amazing because you're a designer. So it doesn't matter you are in Hong Kong, you know, awesome city, awesome landscape, mood, causing the chill city, or you can be in your hometown, but you can make it look like Ghost in the Shell. It's more about your artistic initiative rather than just be, you know, I depend too much of the photos. I have to go to Hong Kong. You know, it's more about the attitude. You know. I like these.
But if you get the chance to go to Hong Kong, guys, do it because it's pretty awesome.
yeah, it's amazing. It's something that it's a must. Everything is over designed. Like there's no time, there's no space for you to rest your eye. Everything is popping out: advertising, cars, people, buildings, more advertising, cars, massage places, advertising, food places, massage places, cars, all that stuff.
Yeah, and I found that it's, well, just in general, it's beneficial to just take pictures, even if you don't really have something in mind or anything. Like, when I look back at my photos, I always find stuff that missed my eye because, and definitely the cities like Hong Kong, where there's just so much visual impulse, your eye cannot take it all. But when you have a photo, you can actually take your time and look at all the details, and sometimes very small things in the picture are like really great ideas that you just missed when you were walking around, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it's very impressive. I have like some photos here, and it's like a nice contrast. This is like outside in a temple where they have a big Buddha statue there, and it's a very big contrast because you can see the asphalt and the terraforming of these massive city structures rising up, and a lot of layers, like the concrete, something like that, layers of layers on top of layers of asphalt and stuff happening like here. I like this position of elements out there, and the lighting hitting different spots. It looks really fantastic. And then you have like spots like this, which is like totally peaceful. So that contrast is very, 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 very impressive.
Yeah. That's the Buddha piece on the back of the island, right?
Yeah. It's quite nice.
There are some really nice, like, small islands that you can go to from the pier on Hong Kong that are also like completely different than the city, where you can get some really nice photos and stuff.
Yeah. No, it's a very, very impressive city. Yeah, I highly recommend that. Like, even for designers, like people will just die. it's very inspiring. Or again, traveling is very, very good for designers. Open your mind to different cultures, open your mind to different ways, different possibilities. The way who you are is the way who you express in your own work.
There's a really cool question in the chat, so let me actually bring it up. Stafford is asking, how does one know when to stop doing a certain piece? When does underkilling or overkilling a piece happen?
Yeah, sure. Of course, it depends. In this case, let's try to assume that this is like a concept development for a film, or it's a key frame for a film. So you have to have certain things in mind. What is the selling point? What you have to sell? Okay, in this brief, what we have to sell is the whole scene. It's like we have to sell what is this place about? This place, the location. The location. So we have to give an spectator like a taste of what it is about. We have to establish, of course, our priorities. And the way how I establish priorities, like between the focal points, I use the sacred formula of 3, which I learned when I was graphic designer. 3 is the maximum amount of elements that you have to use in every design. You're working as a graphic designer, 3 fonts of typography. One title, some header, and the plain text. 3 fonts. More than that is going to be messy. The same principle I apply here. I need 3 elements of composition. So I need a major focal point, which is probably this one. It's going to contain at least 80% of density of detail. And then this density of detail is going to irradiate into these spots. So this one is going to have 50, and this one is going to have 20. So defining the focal points will give you the answer like, okay, I need to define this focal point. I don't need to take care about this or this or this, because this is my selling point. But of course, this is going to complement the whole scenography. These are all helpers. But once you establish the priorities, focal points, selling the whole brief, the rest is done. You don't have to over detail everything. No, I have to put something here, I put a tree here, I have it here, I have to put a plane here, and some here. No, these are like extra helpers. If these extra helpers are helping the viewer to go into the main focal points, it's okay. If not, it's not working and you're just polluting the whole image. So define the focal points first, and then you will notice what is the real priority. That's the way how we usually solve the problem. It's not just like over detail everything and I don't know where to stop. Yeah, you have to stop when once you say, okay, 80% of density of detail is in the focal point, is already solved. The rest is gonna be extra decorations. That's it. That's the way how you can solve it.
Awesome.
And of course, there's too many. It's not like I'm not saying that that's the only way. It's like there are different ways. But if you have to solve it fast, or you really need a very fast way to solve this, just attach to the fundamentals, attach to the principles, of course, of cinematography.
There's another cool question from Jeremy Kurt about your workspace. Do you work in quiet workspace most of the time or a very noisy one? And how do you cope with the noise? I think it's a question to all of us, but maybe let's start with Eduardo.
Yeah, no, sure. Like, I try to always my workplace is for me. I consider it as like a temple. Like, of course, it's not everything is not like full of Buddhas or statues. It's more like you have to take care of your place. You know, if it's smelly or if it's like no ventilation, no light. It's not
smelly. Is that what you said? Smelly?
Yeah.
Oh, it stinks in here. I can't focus on my painting.
Yeah. Yeah, your painting starts to look smell. No, I guess like you need proper lighting. I guess you need like a space where you can feel comfortable, that you can work in peace. You can put your music. You can do whatever you want. You can chill. It's more about what you really want. I know people that they don't care about that. They can work in the toilet. You know, like yeah, I can do my painting there. but of course, colors are like opinions and behavior, so there's no one way, but I personally prefer a good space to work. I prefer like lighting because I need sun. I'm still human, so I need sun. I need to see birds. I need to see clouds. I need to move because I don't want my back to be injured. And yeah, it's basically something simple, you know, basic common sense, yeah, something that makes you feel comfortable.
What about the music? Are you listening to it?
Oh, yeah, music. Of course, I guess for copyright stuff, I cannot play music here. But most of the time, and every time I do a workshop, I put music that is going to be related with the painting that I'm doing. It's very important.
Yeah.
It helps to, you know, it creates, your brain is always thinking in all the possibilities and the storytelling that is happening in your painting through the music, the sounds. And I think all of that stuff is related to your workflow, because it is part of their sensitivity, is part of your senses, your basic senses of how you get this. How can you like think with music, solve with music.
Yeah, I also think that music is very important to just to just keep you painting and alive. And as you said, it's quite cool to just search for something that is somehow connected to the mood of the piece that you are working on, or it's like quite a cool connection.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that everything is connected in some stage. I like to respect different arts. You know, like we're working visual, but we get inspired by what we listen, or we get inspired when we smell or what we touch. Like all senses are always connected.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's funny all this talk about temples and stuff, because actually the piece that I'm doing is like sort of like an oriental temple kind of environment with a samurai guy. It's a really nice piece actually. I will show it maybe in like 10 minutes or 15 minutes or something.
Eduardo, how do you get past art block and get inspiration? So basically, if you have an art block and that, just maybe some being burnout period, how do you deal with it?
No, no, no. This is not like, again. It's not about, if you're doing concept art, you just have to do concept art and that's it. Don't do anything else. So it's like, no, the way you're always a designer, I guess, is constantly inspired by life. When I
Mm-hmm.
feel, sometimes I feel stuck here, I just go out and walk, go to watch a movie, go with my girlfriend, or talk with my family. Or, do something totally different. It's like, for example, if you guys do sports or something, or go to a gym, you don't work out the same muscle every day. Like, if you work the same muscle every day, it's gonna move out. It's gonna
Yeah.
explode or something. So the body itself needs to work in different way. One day you work arms, one day you work legs, one day you work back, one day you rest, one day you eat well. So it's like the same thing. It's not like you have to do the same thing every day over and over. If not, you're gonna lose inspiration. And even though that is like a tough business, that art is always obligatory, you have to produce 10 paintings or something like that. You have to find that balance, but finding that balance through inspiration. And it's like, personally, what I'm doing is like, I'm trying to get involved in what I'm doing. I try to be a character. I'm trying to, okay, this is like a surviving game, or it's like a horror story. I try to be a character. So what should I do? I'm the main hero or something like that. I try to use that imagination to help me into that immersion. If not, my inspiration is gonna be crashed, or I'm gonna be disappointed, or because this business is there's a lot of challenges. It's not always art challenges, like, oh, compositional lighting. No, it's a lot of things, bureaucracy, politics, and all that stuff. Those things can demoralize you or destroy your mood and all the stuff. So you have always to keep inspired. You have to save that magic thing into a box. And whenever you feel like it's going away, just open that box and just get some boost.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna just start using the. I finished using that, of course, my first plate, and then I'm gonna start putting like my personal textures, all the stuff that I have built for different projects. I just keep them in my in my folders. So that's another thing. In order to speed up your process, it's really good to have all your references in. Save all your references in previous work, old works, all that stuff. That helps you too. Like sometimes you have, oh, I have to do a spaceship or something, and previously you did a spaceship, but you have to save a lot of images with that spaceship, and you have your own references. So you can reuse it. That's a good thing. If you're a designer, you can recycle. Because we are designers, we don't waste. We don't have to waste things. We have to have a proper use of our own references. So what I'm doing here is like I'm reusing all reference that I have from. I guess I have this from Wojtek. I'm using a lot of these things for destroying buildings and blah blah blah. I see like, okay, I can just reuse it and find it a new purpose. We don't have to waste it. You don't have to waste everything. Whatever you have, just save it. It will help you in the future in some stage.
Yeah, I mean, if you've already researched something once, there's no need to research it again. Just keep that stuff nicely organized.
And of course, that helps you to speed up the process. Remember that we are against the clock, and whatever we have to do it fast and accurate, and it needs to look cool. And again, I'm talking about concept art or talking about production art. That's why we're using these techniques. It's not about like, okay, I'm a better illustrator if I'm using this technique. No, this is just for satisfy or just to work under the purpose of concept art parameters, productionable, under the time. So no technique is better than the other one. The technique is convenient, which is different. The technique is helping me. It's not better than other technique. It's just helping me.
what I also find quite beneficial about gathering your own reference library is that when you do a project, you tend to look stuff up on Google or Pinterest or whatever, and you tend to look stuff up very specifically. You're like, okay, I need to do temples, so I'm just going to look at photos of temples or whatever. Or I need to do buildings, so I'm going to look up building or architecture references. But if you've gathered stuff that has nothing to do with it, sometimes it's good to just go through it and look at it and see how shape or design actually transposes from completely different things. Like I'm doing like a new Gumroad video right now, and I'm basically using like my reference folder of computer chips, and I'm using those to design like buildings or stuff like that. So it's something that's completely not related, but you know, it's in finding sort of similarities or you know, ways to transpose that design language into something new, and that's actually sometimes a better idea to. Like a better way to come up with unique ideas than just like literally taking it from what it's supposed to be, you know. And it sort of feeds your imagination into seeing things in a more abstract way and then extracting ideas from it.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess, like, again, regardless of the technique that we're using, you always work. We're always working on the creative mode. So we can create, we can redesign, we can reconstruct, deconstruct, over design, over paint, whatever. You know, like all those things are part of the creative input of the designer. There's not always like a best way or bad way. It's define your own way, of course, but be aware that there are different things that you must learn. There are things that helps you during this process. So it's never hermetic. It's always open for the user to explore.
Maybe I can share the overpaint if that's cool with you guys.
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
I don't really have much more to do on it.
Okay. Do you want me to block the screen on yours?
Yep, I'm just gonna share my screen. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
So this is a piece by Thomas Hons.
Nice.
And it's a really amazing piece, actually. I really like it. It's like a sort of it has a temple feel, but I guess it's maybe sort of like a museum or something, or you know, somewhere where these statues and all this stuff is gathered. So it's really nice. There's a lot of really nice subtle color variation in it, which is really lovely. The only problem that I have with this, I really love the composition as well, but I think the values and sort of the accents of light are in the wrong place. For example, like if I have a look, this is a really bright spot here. There's nothing here that, you know, would have to draw my attention. I don't know why this spot is so bright. This lamp is a little bit lost. It's very bright. So yeah, it's a bit all over the place. And then here, there's a character standing in this door, and compositionally, he's actually in a pretty good place, but it's not really, I don't know, I feel like because of some of these choices and value, I don't know, my eye is being confused in where to look at. So I've just done some like simple changes to it. So this is the overpaint. So basically, I've actually darkened the parts that I thought were too bright here, and I've brightened the parts that I thought were too light, too dark. So I've just replaced the character here in the door with, you know, a different silhouette, and just lit him from behind and add some reflection so that you can actually see the character. So there's a bit more storytelling to it. And I've also lit these lights because the great thing about these lights on the roof is that they actually lead you towards the focal point. They lead your eye towards it, literally. So by lighting those up and by darkening some of the other ones, like this one here, I've darkened it a little bit. It actually helps lead your eye over there. Yeah. So yeah, I think it was basically just about balancing out where the eye is being led, and just, yeah, if I zoom out, you can just tell that it reads slightly better from far away. But it's already like a really nice piece, you know. I mean, yeah, I think it's an amazing painting. It looks all hand painted. It's quite rough, but yeah, if I zoom out, like just the color variation stuff, wow, it's really amazing. I really like it. So
Yeah, really
yeah,
cool tips. Yeah.
and actually by adding the reflection on the floor, I can reflect the lights on the floor, which also leads my eye to the focal point. So basically, all the lines are now leading to that character, much more than before. So it's just more readable, if you can see it. Yeah, that's it. But really nice job from Thomas. It's really a beautiful piece.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, man.
No worries.
So back to the Eduardo right now. The screen is on your. Yeah.
Yeah, here.
Eduardo, are you here?
Yeah. Hey.
There is a question.
Yep.
Some more gym questions to you. How many times
Sure.
in a week do you go on the gym? And if you are skipping the leg day?
What's no, sometimes I can go just once a week. Sometimes I don't have enough time, but I try to keep myself, you know, like just going out and walk or trying to do some exercise. I try just to maintain my mind and my body disconnected for doing this every day. It's not healthy. So yeah, it's like try to, as much as I can. I just try to go out and chill.
So basically just move.
Yeah, no, not quite often. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh man, there's a lot of posts about the gym.
My God.
Someone is saying that you are very muscular in real life.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I don't have time to that.
We just
Maybe
have
you are.
one muscular arm. Our drawing arm is just super muscular.
Yeah. My couple drawing.
I'm not sure if it's from drawing or something else, but you know, whatever.
So you are adding more details to enrich the.
Yeah. So when I'm done, it's just noise, like just using like all these all reference that I have here, just to create like more noise. I create like density, create like stuff happening there. Like with the time, like things will just start to come out the composition. Like all of this, of course, is my priority. This section here, but again, I'm not forgetting what's happening because I know that this is supporting this. So I need to know what I have to put, what I have to avoid, and how I put it, how I avoid it. And I use, of course, like circumstances, which is like if I use mist or use fog or I use rain. So I have to proper using it. It's not like I have to put rain everywhere. No, it's like if it's not raining, put avoid rain. If it's misty, just put some foggy stuff. So you can use that atmospherics into your site to help you to hide certain spots and maybe to expose other ones. It's again like the rules of cinematography is hide and expose. You can hide a little bit, you can expose something. You don't. It's a formula of 4. You know, you can just 2 plus 2 is 4, but you don't say 4. You just say 2 plus 2. The same here. You just have to give something, and then people will just finish it for you.
Yeah, it's all matter of, balancing the things. Like you have in this one very moody and subdued colors, and you just put the highlights only on the local, places.
Yeah, at this stage, yes, I try to keep it simple. I like when it's spotlight, what element being hit by light. That's it. So I don't want to overcomplicate that. Even
Hmm.
for the demo, it's not gonna say like very, like oh how we do this, how we do that. So
Yeah,
I try to keep it very simple. And one thing is like when I do this sort of settings, it's easy to explain because it's easy to destroy. Like it's easy to create like mess, it's easy to create like debris, all these materials. So when I'm doing demos, for me, it's easy to explain these sort of things through an example like that you're destroying a city or something. Sometimes it's cliche, the same thing, but it's the best way to explain what is this about, like composition and shape design, what I'm using the whole shape like this, what is this important, and how I block this. So, and after that, you can progressively, you start like finding different subjects, for example, an island or something more complex underwater castle or something like that. So when I'm doing examples, I try to choose these generic themes that helps, just to absorb all this stuff. Some stuff.
This is maybe a little bit beside the subject, but I just wanted to tell you guys about the cool book that I found that I'm going to add to the website right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it's called Animals Real and Imagined by Gilbert Banducci. I think it's kind of inspired by like some of the James Gurney stuff, and it's basically a book with illustrations of animals, but also of like imagined animals. So not only real existing ones, but also like fantasy animals. But all sort of taken from functionality and like if in a way that would make sense, not just random
awesome.
made up stuff. And
Let's
yeah,
put
it
it.
looks really cool.
Can you put the link on the event page too?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think
I hope
definitely
it.
people.
I hope it doesn't miss the horses.
No, I'm sure there is horses, and actually there's like fantasy horses, like horses with crazy tails and
Nice.
crazy stuff.
I'm
Just
I'm
check it
gonna do
out.
s- I'm going to do some mech horse pretty soon. So
Oh yeah, that would be cool. But yeah, I think for people who want to get into creature design or something, it's very cool book to look at. So I'm just gonna post it in the event right now, actually.
yeah.
Okay, so I've posted in the event page, so if you guys want to check it out.
Cool. Oh, it's another must-have. Nice. So it's like there are some paintings and illustrations that are showing actually the bodywork, with
Yeah,
the
it's taken.
mechanism.
Yeah, it's taken of an idea that they have like skeletal structures that make sense, and
Nice.
it's
Cool.
just sort of expanding the fauna of Earth, I guess, in a way. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Um, There's some. Okay, this is a question. I can just read it. How do you feel about illustrators painting on an entire scene, then using kit bashing technique and adding textures and illustration? Does it make illustrations more hireable or less, do you think?
I guess like again I repeat that these techniques are not better or worse than other ones. These are just techniques that helps to accelerate certain process. It helps to solve a problem into the pipeline, the production pipeline. So regardless of what you're using, you have to always think that if you're really good with the tool, if you upgrade yourself with the tool, of course, I can hire you. For example, if I hire somebody that knows all the techniques but doesn't know how to really design, I can hire him. I need somebody that really knows how to design, regardless of the tool. If this guy is really good character designer and he does really functional and awesome characters with pencil, come here, come in, and start doing this stuff. And instead of somebody that, for example, knows ZBrush or know how to do kit bash but is not doing anything, you know, like just putting I don't know, exoskeletons everywhere doesn't solve the problem. So I need somebody or people that really hard is a designer, is a thinker, is a guy that is creating stuff regardless of the technique. So again, the technique is not the one that is solving the problem. It's the designer.
Hello.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was okay. So as you can see, it's really production-friendly workflow what Eduardo is doing right now, because
Yeah.
really, really quickly you can get results so fast. I know Jonas is Jonas is operating kind of similar technique, right? I saw your process images on a sci-fi city, so it was kind of similar to this workflow, right? Jonas? No, he's off.
Are you, Wojtek, going to do any Gumroad? It's just a question.
You know, yeah, I thought about it, but I'm really willingful because there's a lot of concept art knowledge out there, and I'm like buying every single tutorial and watching it, and there's no point in making another one. So what I haven't seen is there's no like more fine art kind of approach tutorial. So what I feel comfortable with are portraits, and maybe I would do that kind of a thing, and then I can also do one image for my personal project and make a walkthrough. I mean Horus, and yeah. So, but basically, right now I have so much work. I have to just close this freelance stage for now. And tomorrow I start working at Quantic, so it's another thing. And I have to get my new PC as well, because it's really hard for me to get everything done on a laptop, which I was forced to use because of the move I've been doing. So yeah, I think it's going to happen, but maybe in a month. I think at least it's the time I need to set myself up and buy a new PC, and you know, because otherwise I will just get frustrated and maybe not do as good as I want. Because still, if people are buying it, I want to provide the best from the best I can.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, it's going to come, but it'll take my time.
I just asked because, you know, I'm kind of interested to see, you know, maybe if you, you know, share the process of, you know, portrait or so that you are familiar with, and, you know, just it's kind of rare from people out there on Gumroad. You just can't find any portrait or, you know, full characters
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome that that gap is really started to filling in. I mean, in terms of really specific concept, design-oriented knowledge, that it's getting there. Actually, it's really not. I think if you are going to be a concept designer, you will benefit so much more from video that explains you how to, make a design choices and such, rather than a portrait video. But there are some hobbyists out there that just want to, paint pretty pictures. Like, this is me
Yeah,
starting out in
yeah, but
2007. So
yeah, I'm just sorry for interrupting. I just
yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
tell it that you have some, exquisite, knowledge about the portraits. I don't know if I call it good,
yeah,
but you know what I mean. And
yeah,
it would be cool to see, some kind of using it in existing, character art, design or so, something like this.
yeah. Exactly. That's really a cool idea. Like how to use such a traditional skill, because I think it comes from studying at Watson, understanding
Yeah,
um, different things that are traditional media exclusive and applying it to kind of a modern workflow. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think I can cover it. Yeah,
yeah.
you gave me a nice idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
cool.
I already noticed that people are asking about my class, and I
Yeah.
do have the second part of my Gumroad video already, but I need to put some uh, audio overlay on it. So, but
Yeah.
I have a lot of, as Wojtek, we have a lot of work, and it's kind of hard to find 4 hours to, to talk constantly through four
Yeah.
hours
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
put overlay on the existing video. I will never do it again.
Yeah.
I will just record everything.
Recording on the go.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
And
And
regarding my
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. And
I was just
regarding my
about to. God damn it. Sorry, there's a lag, and I hear yourself talking a little bit later. So I
okay.
think you heard me. I started to talk. So that's weird.
Okay, so let's go and I will finish my talk after you.
Yeah. So I was about to ask Eduardo about Gumroad. So you have already released something on Gumroad, right? I was
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to.
I just have two videos there. It's like I have two videos in my Chrome. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the link here. Where is the?
If you can link it up to me, I can pass it over.
Yeah.
Let me just.
Okay, so it's on your Facebook page. All right, I will find it. I will find it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, yeah.
No
I'm
worries.
planning to launch different things because again, I like what you're saying is really accurate. Like portrait and fine art stuff will be really awesome because there's a lot of concept art stuff out there, which is
Yeah.
awesome as well. But it's really nice to have like different ways of solving different problems. And again, this is a community of art. This is not just a community of concept art. We're helping each other to grow. It's not just concept artists doing concept art. It's like I would love to learn portrait stuff. I would love to learn other skill set to start implying that into my workflow. So, yeah.
Cool, man.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a cool idea. So yeah, I have your Gumroad opened. So I can see two tutorials, and I bet they're awesome. So I think I'm going to buy those, and I recommend you all to do it as well. And I'm linking to it in the
Oh,
event
okay.
page.
Okay, so
go
put
to
it on the event
page.
page, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And I would like to finish my talk about the tutorials and all
Yeah,
that
sure.
stuff.
Go ahead.
Because people are asking for my class, and I will make a tour through, showing all kinds of climates, and I would like to also take up the subject like, diversifying the times, the ages, from the very ancient ones to just very futuristic. So it will be very extended, and I think it will be like few weeks class, online class. But for a warm-up, I will do some VFX workshop also. So it will be also connected somehow to the pictures I did for Gumroad, but with more. I think I will try to do a more, construct, constructive knowledge, like setting all the things about practical color and light, and creating a mood, diversifying it to the existing product or to the expectations of the client. So it will be like a quick warm-up. I think it will be like a 10-hour video before I will launch my class. So yeah, I will just post everything on Facebook and we'll keep you updated about it. But for now, I just get rid of all that freelance shit. So yeah, that's my
So
few cents.
guys, question about the kiwi juice page.
Yep.
What is happening with it? Is
Nothing.
it getting? Yeah, that's it, right?
As far as I know, it's like there were too much instructors going on. I don't know if it's true, and they just
update it.
they just let it go.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys have already access to it, like navigating or editing it.
I have access to it, but I haven't really done anything.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work because so much stuff is coming out at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it would be better. I mean, I don't want to undermine any artist or something, but the problem that I feel with Gumroad, and I've said this before, is that there's no quality control.
Yeah.
So you never really know what you're buying, and some tutorials, some people feel better about certain tutorials than other. So I think it would be good if something like Kiwi Juice would have a rating system, or if something like Gumroad would have just a rating system in general, so that people could rate the tutorials. That will also motivate us to do a better job and not just like paint and record it and then ask money for it, because it's a little bit lame to do it like that,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that would be good.
But it's very cheap.
I know,
Yeah,
it's very
exactly, at the same time.
it's very cheap, but the thing is,
Yeah, but I love the idea about rating system. It's awesome, and I don't think it's that hard to be implemented. The site is on the Squarespace system, so I think they have some widgets to manage that.
Yeah, I think also the categories would be also cool. Just put the videos into separate ones, like from the beginners to more advanced stuff. Because I already noticed a lot of artists are, trying to throw the videos from all different levels, like from the beginners, for instance, and then finish and end up with 10 hours illustration, like Maciej did. So it would be cool to navigate it somehow, and if Gumroad have some more intuitive design, just to find the video from other artists and all that stuff, because it's very, very
yeah.
It looks like a beta version instead.
Yeah, but it's definitely worth checking, and it's awesome to see that you can put something for $1 or $5, and yeah, you just go through. It's like it's almost for free, and the knowledge is still in there. It's like the professional artists in there, and all the tips from the industry. It hasn't been anything before like this, so.
Yeah, it's just kind of sad that there's no streamlined platform for this. Like it would be like something like Kiwi Juice is a good idea, but I think it needs to be, like you said, better streamlined with like a rating system and a category system, because it's just getting so cluttered and people don't know where to start, and then artists are covering the same topics and you don't know who to pick, and it's, I don't know, I feel like it's getting a bit muddy because everyone's sort of jumping on it, but there's no structure, there's no structure compared to a system like Skillshare or
if you will go to that's the downside of decentralizing that kind of tutorial making, I think, because when you are going to like Gnomon workshop, then everything is centralized because they have a cut from your tutorial. Basically, they're making money off of your tutorial, so they have money to manage the website and such. And here, there's no such thing as like centralized system. So I think the amount of work you have to put into it is just another full-time job. You have to you would have to basically hire somebody to do all these things because we are, as artists, don't have time to do it. I mean, I know how time-consuming level up is, so doing something like this with
Yeah,
that amount of
exactly.
like tutorials, materials, instructors, and stuff, it's super crazy. But actually, there's a lot of potential in it. I heard that Kiwi Juice has like tons of views every day, so that's
Yeah.
awesome. But if it keeps being outdated, it will obviously will kill it. So I think better act fast with it. But there's no people with that much time to actually do it. So I don't know. It looks
Yeah,
good,
exactly.
but
It's very time consuming, like all the
I,
editing stuff and all the gathering
upload.
references,
Yeah.
yeah, uploading it and recording and cutting it to not to destroy your PC and all that shit. So yeah,
I
it's
was
very
thinking, guys, maybe, I mean, of course, it's going to be more extra work for us, but maybe we can try to integrate the Gumroad tutorials into the Level Up website and build in like a rating system or something so that actually people can go there
yeah, that would be
and
cool.
find
That would
stuff.
be
yeah.
cool.
And maybe with the comments, because the way that it's
Good.
going now, people are just they're gonna buy random tutorials, and then if they're a bit disappointed with one, they'll stick to other artists, and one guy's charging $7 for half an hour, and then the other guy's charging $3 for an hour and a half, and it gets really muddy, and it would be good to sort of put at least a little bit of structure into it, so that it feels more.
Yeah, as far
Yeah,
as far as the prices are very low, it's alright.
Yeah.
But yeah, if maybe we could just drop some site on Level Up, some subdivision only for Gumroad or so. We can just put every link together. I already saw some posts on Polycount forum
Yeah.
board,
Yeah.
and they are having all the links very well sorted, through
Okay.
concept art, through illustration, through some basic stuff, and all of
Yeah,
the tutorials are added every day because the people are notifying the admins, so they put everything in the one place. We can also put it on Level Up site. We can just do it our own release. So
Yeah, I
so we
mean, like,
can grab those links. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, let me just post it on Level Up page, no, event page. Sorry.
Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, once you have all the links in there, it's not that hard to do it. But then the tutorials are being released constantly, and I don't know. We already have a lot of work with the resources page.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
know.
that hard.
Yeah,
We
maybe
have
it's like
like
for the future time. It's like I don't think that people from government will just throw out their ideas and just stop uploading the stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think it will slow down, like with everything, in
yeah,
a month or
definitely.
two.
Well,
I think
yeah.
there will be only a couple of people constantly doing tutorials.
Yeah.
Um,
Slow down.
so when it will slow down, we can really just make like a library of it, something like that. Because there's a really nice way to embed like thumbnails and price information from Gumroad, right?
Yeah,
Am I right?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
so there would be a really cool way to visually guide through that mess. A pretty beautiful mess still, but a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sorry, Wojtek, people
Mhm.
already asked about some putting the contest entries from the first Level Up contest. It would be also cool, but we still need to think, right, about it, how to manage it, how to do a quick gallery through the contest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'd have to maybe add, like, maybe we have to add a couple of sections to the main, because we kind of like the structure of the website right now, because it's pretty simple. So
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
we'll add like some small things to the main page where you can click through to like the contest or the Gumroads or something like that. We'll have to figure something out. But give us some time because we're all super busy. So I know we're a bit slow, but
yeah.
eventually we always get it done.
Yeah,
Pretty soon.
exactly.
Pretty soon.
Yeah, because
So
for now, if we wanted to put like all of the Gumroad tutorial links on our resources page, it would be just too much scrolling. So we definitely think
yeah. Yeah,
through
there
it.
should be a visual way of guiding through
Yeah.
that. I think something especially um, created for this purpose. But I think we should wait to find out the cool rating system, and we should wait for the tutorials to stop coming out so
So
fast.
fast.
So basically, yeah. So I think we
But I
can
mean,
just
like,
in the meantime, yeah.
we can get some help from the community as well. I know a couple of people who have already written to us to suggest to help us. So, you know, if people are interested in sort of helping us out, we'd gladly give you all the information if you want to sort of help us sort this stuff out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think also if you guys have any ideas how we can manage it, it would be awesome. Just
Yeah.
Yeah, we
just
can
to
build it
hear your,
together. If you're familiar kind of with us,
yeah, exactly. It's like,
Squarespace platform, it's really easy to operate, so it's not a problem if you don't. But if you're willing to
yeah,
help, that's awesome.
yeah, we can just,
And
based
if
on the
there's
feedback from people, and because it's for them, right? So yeah.
Yeah. If there's any coders out there, if there's any people who have some scripting or coding experience and you want to help us, please get in contact, because I actually had a cool idea for the resources page. I was looking at it and I find it quite like easy to find stuff. The only problem that I have with our resources page right now is the books. It seems very cluttered because all the titles are long and they're all stuck together. And I know there's a very easy way to have like sort of a pop-up window when you hover over certain links. So I thought maybe it would be cool if we could write like a custom script so that when you hover your mouse over one of the book links, you actually get a preview of the book cover. I think like that it will be much easier for people to browse the books that we are suggesting, because now it's just like a long list of unsorted stuff, and nothing has to do with anything. It's just like random cool books, you know. And yeah, I don't think it's very clear right now.
That's awesome. Sounds great. Yeah, but let's actually come back to Eduardo's piece for a while. Eduardo, it looks like you are adding a lot of different effects. It looks great. I love it. Maybe a couple of words about what you're doing right now.
Yeah, sure. Like when I'm just listening, I'm totally agree with what you guys are saying. It's really good to all the about the filtering process, the quality control, keep supporting this stuff. You know, without going too far, without going too crazy. I really share with you guys the same thought. Okay, in regards of this, what I'm doing is just like the makeup, the VFX stuff, fire, debris, smoke. Just to increase the selling point. Density. Basically, yeah, it's like almost there. I probably just gonna start keep destroying stuff. Keep putting more lights there, here. Actually, this technique again that helps. One, because of the resources. Resources are there. I have my own all references. I already know how to play with the composition and all the stuff. And third, it's easy to manage the color, the lighting, even the detail, because of course it's a photo, so the photo contains certain amount of detail, so I don't have to worry too much about that. So again, the speed here is not about like, oh, I'm super fast or wow, this is so awesome. It's more about the resources. It's more about the structures. It's more about like how I can play with this and solve the problem immediately. And of course, I just keep working on this. I just probably need to fix some stuff or maybe put like, I don't know. I want to see how this goes.
Mm-hmm. So did you already have, for example, did you already have in mind that you were going to do like a burning city, or did some of the ideas just come up as you were working and you thought like, okay, there's something missing here?
No, I actually thought that it's like a city under attack invasion or something like very typical cliche scenography. But the rest, like I'm gonna say, probably I'm gonna start adding more elements, probably like a main character hanging there or something. But just to see how it goes, I don't wanna stop myself of finding different possibilities. But yeah, the main idea is the set. It's like define define the space where this action takes place, and then of course start defining the subject. I don't have a very specific brief here, but I'm trying to create the briefing while I'm painting and say, oh, it would be nice if I have, for example, a spaceship or something. I'm talking about from an entertainment point of view, like I'm not saying like, okay, let's put spaceship and robots and machine guns and tits over there. No, it's just like, what is gonna be cool? What is gonna be the selling point for a piece like this, of course.
Yeah, and it's good to sort of stay away from the cliches as well sometimes, isn't it? People get tired of doing things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Like the artists that I like watching the most is just like people who just try different stuff or just do stuff that's not only inspired, because so many portfolios are really nicely painted, but they're just regurgitating stuff. And I like to see people who more experiment with trying completely different things or getting inspiration from completely different things. It's just more about the originality than creating like this typical nice concept art. Because the internet thing saturates so quick.
Yeah, and sometimes it's difficult again because there's no filter nowadays. Like you can post, for example, the most original work ever, but people just go directly to the work that has more likes, and the work that has more likes is like a machine gun of a shark or something like that, or something very lame, but people loves it, and people assume that that's a real piece of work, but it's like there's no filter about that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of complicated, and people just prefer what the most impactful stuff. It's like Transformers. It got more budget, more than Edge of Tomorrow, and Edge of Tomorrow is still a really awesome sci-fi movie with a nice storyline, nice content, and script.
Oh,
but it's going bad.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny because like Transformers 4 makes, I don't know, probably over $1 billion already, but no one likes it.
Yeah.
Like, everywhere, everyone hates it, but it makes a shitload of money. And then other movies everyone loves, and they don't make the money back for some reason because the marketing and all that stuff, and the fan base isn't that big. And then studios go with the money. They don't go with the people's opinion. They go with the money. For them, the money is the people's opinion. Period.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really backwards these days. I haven't seen any of the Transformer movies. Not even the first one. I saw like pieces of it, and then I was like, okay, I'll just watch like a visual effects show reel and the making of, but I don't really want to see the movies. When you see robots with beards smoking cyber cigars, like I'm out.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be like that. Of course, there's different public, there's different target that is going to those movies. It's not like just film is just made for a certain amount of people. But sometimes it's good to keeping a good track, like movies itself. They have like something important, like deliver a message or help the society to turn in a better society, or I don't know, any particular thing. Again, the market is still the market, so.
Yeah, definitely. Should I sing a song?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that.
Feel free.
I haven't done my throat warm-up today. It's so early. It's funny because I was still sleeping like less than an hour before the session, and Wojtek called me literally 1 minute after I opened my eyes. It's like, hey guys, we're starting in 45 minutes. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, you took a
Yeah,
shower
I saw.
15 minutes before the session starts. Fucking bastard.
You know, we're
But it's
freestyling.
better to take a shower than not taking
Yeah,
it.
just to stink so much, right?
Yeah, good thing you guys can't smell through the computer. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the next gen thing we may expect from the future.
Yeah. Next gen shower. Back to your desk.
Yeah, I've always thought about like it would be cool if, you know, cinema and games were expanded upon the senses that they relate to. But if you think about adding a sense of smell, then very often it just would not be very pleasant. You know, if you're playing like a zombie game and you smell corpses all the time, I don't think that would go well with the people. I remember going to this arcade in Tokyo that had like really cool integration of different senses. Like you would get into this cabin and the video game, it was like a horror survival game, but it would like read your heart rate and stuff, and it would use like small electric shocks and vibrations and smoke effects and all this different stuff to like enhance the experience. It was really cool actually, like because it expands upon just visual and auditive experience.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I was just reading Kristen's comment saying I should do some Himalayan throat singing. That's actually really hard because you have to learn how to do like the overtones. So I don't know how to do that. I think it needs years of practice to do what's it called, Peruvian throat singing. Do you know this kind of throat singing?
Yeah.
No.
It's like an overtone throat singing. It's like yo yo yo, and then it goes into overtones. Yeah, it's really awesome.
Yeah, let's go back to Eduardo for a while. It seems like some really cool things are going around. Can you talk a little bit about what you are doing right now, Eduardo?
Yeah, you switched to
Good
the
time.
values only, and why is that right now?
Yeah, just sort of black and white. I just want to see if the values are okay, or just to check the stuff. And what I'm doing is just like adding stuff there. Like I want to see like a big shape there, maybe like organic alien form appearing from the bridge, something. I don't honestly. This one I don't know what I'm doing.
You were talking about Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah. So for some reason, yeah. My psyche is like, come on. Yeah. But yeah, like for example, this is like a really cool exercise. Like I like when I like started doing concept work. I have a brief or a project. I like to start doing this stuff. You know, like no, I don't want to consider this as a warm up, but it's more to adjust my eye to the new project. For example, if I have a project with this subject matter, I need to start like evolve my eye, have an immersion of this sort of environment to say, okay, I need explosions, I need the broken bridges, all the stuff to start like have the mindset. It's like, you know, like going to run, you have to stretch your legs, all that stuff. So the same here to me. Like sometimes I have like fantasy briefs, or I have like live action briefs. So I like to get into that mood first before I do the final product.
It's also like you're kind of going back to the basics now, where you sort of step back because you've been, you know, so concerned with detailing and rendering to like step back and look back at like, does the whole thing work as an overall image, and try to come up with new things.
Yeah, I absolutely. It's like back and forward. It's like sometimes you can start directly with a color plate or something. It's like at the end of the day, you have to make it look, of course, functional, and it needs to work, And sometimes your eye is so tricky that it's not used to that amount of quantity of color. And even for me, like I have like all this stuff happening, and sometimes my eye goes distracted, or sometimes I need a break, just go out and drink something and come back with fresh eyes and say, oh man, sucks, or did this adjustment here, or needs to fix this and this, or just do another one,
Yeah.
So again, I always like to stimulate my students, saying that commit a lot of mistakes, do a lot of mistakes, because the more that you do, the more that you learn. And instead of like just finding the perfect image will never come. You just like have to do a lot of mistakes before one is successful.
Yep.
So I think I guess I'm alright with this. I'm a little bit tired.
No, it's good. I mean, that's definitely more than enough for a demo, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Your workflow. So.
It's awesome. Yeah, and the live sessions tend to be kind of exhausting. You have been talking for like 2 hours non-stop. And so if you can save the PSD so we can share it later on our Level Up page, and if you're okay with that, that would be awesome. So people can actually benefit from deconstructing it.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. You think it's okay if I send like this?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. You don't have to finish it up or whatever. It looks great. We really have seen, we have really seen the process behind it. So that's the main part. It's not about the finished product in here.
Oh, okay. No, whatever guys you think is okay, just happy to share. It's okay. No
Man,
worries.
it looks more than okay. So yeah, definitely.
Perfect.
Okay.
So guys, I think we will be wrapping up right now. So thank you, Eduardo, for joining us today. It was really informative, and like you said before, beyond technical, we have really get a lot of insight about your mindset and such. So that was really awesome. Something different this time, but we had to see the technical part as well, which was pretty good, I think. So I'm looking forward to seeing the PSD and a full resolution image, because there's a lot of compression going on in here. So feel free to post it in the Level Up group and the event page after the session,
exactly.
so we can see the image, the colored one. And everyone who was watching, thank you very much for coming today. It was awesome. A little bit earlier than usual.
Yeah.
But it stays in here on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's better time for the people in Asia, though, because usually the people in Asia, they have to watch in the middle of the night. So I guess now the people in America have to watch in the middle of the night. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
guys.
No, guys, really, thank you so much for the time, for letting me be here and talk and share the stuff. And hopefully, I wish you the best for this initiative. You guys are doing really nice, and hopefully, with my initiative that I'm building here, we can cross paths in the future and probably build something. I'm very open and kind to build. I'm really always kind to help and build stuff. So thank you so much again.
Yeah, we are growing from the same mindset. That's because Level Up is happening, and we tend to repeat it every session, but it's really what it is. So it's just a couple of artists helping each other and helping the community and learning and teaching. So it's nothing beyond that. It's just about free content and free knowledge and getting out there with you know non-professional way. That's not the way to say it, but what I mean is that it's just casual. So if you guys enjoy what we are doing, please subscribe to our channel. Check out our level up page, which is fusroda.com, and you can watch all the sessions there. You can check out resources and overpaintings. So thanks to Jonas for today's overpaintings. There are not a lot of them recently.
Yeah.
Because we are so lazy that it's beyond.
No. Busy.
It's not true. Yeah. It's not true.
Yeah, of course. I'm just kidding. It's hard to work after work. So
yeah,
we will try to do. We will try to make it up.
Right, guys. Yeah.
So can I just ask one more question to Eduardo?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
So Eduardo, just one more question from the community.
Sure.
If you had to choose, would you rather be Godzilla or a billionaire?
I think Godzilla, man.
Why?
I don't know. You can just walk around and smash things, and you know.
You don't need to be billionaire to do all that shit.
I don't know. I mean, like, walking around like Godzilla is walking like through a overcrowded.
Like a boss, man. Yeah, of course.
Like
a boss.
Like always bumping into buildings and stuff, and having people shoot at you all the time.
Yeah.
Right,
and Godzilla cannot drink beer and such. That's a little lame part.
Yeah, no beer. Yeah.
No beer. No fun.
No fun.
Just all right. Kidding. All right, guys.
Oh yeah, let's go.
We're wrapping up, and thank you all
you guys
to join, and see you next week. Bye bye.
Okay.
Yeah. See you guys next week. Bye.